Great. We are live to discuss the second test of the India-England series. First test was a bit disappointing, I think, for Indian fans. I mean, we were playing well throughout the first 4 days, but on the fifth day, I don't know what happened. A different team turned out, and things didn't go according to plan. I'm sure India will come back stronger. I think, like Shivam was mentioning, that the England team was already announced 11, and India. The question is around the bowling lineup and maybe a few changes in the middle order as well. What are your thoughts, Shivam, on the first few thoughts before the second test starts?
I think India's got a good week or 10 days before the start of the second game, right? So I'm sure they would have gone back to the drawing board, what exactly went wrong on that fifth day. Like you mentioned, no, India pretty much dominated the first 4 days and then made a mess of, the final day, right? And too many dropped catches, ballers all over the place, no line length. Few of them got a little unlucky. Some good batting by the England batters as well. Gotta give them some credit as well. And a rare off day for Jasprit Bumrah as a bowler as well. You that pretty much sums up the final day for India in the last test game. I think there would have been a lot of discussion around the playing 11. I'm sure, considering the situations, conditions, and there's been a lot of talks if Bumrah would be playing or will he be rested in the second game. I think he is gonna get rested in the second one because I'm sure he would want to play the third test match at Lords, and I don't see him playing second and third test match back to back. Especially considering the fact that there is only 3 or 4 days gap between the two second and third test match, which probably would sort of raise a lot of questions around the combination, especially the bowling combination for India. But before that, I think England has already announced their playing 11. They are going unchanged. I'm slightly surprised. Jofra Archer was there in the mix, but Stokes sort of decided to go ahead with the winning combination. He did not tamper with the combination. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, I if you got someone like Archer probably waiting on the bench, I think it's a little weird. Any comment on that?
No, I mean, I think what he's played only one county match since he came back recently. The one match he played, maybe they want to see. I mean, the one match may not be enough. They felt to assess his overall match fitness, and I think he's now part of the squad and he's with the team traveling. So maybe they will be observing him. How is he in training? How is he doing the grinds along with the other teammates? And I'm sure the physio will be keeping a close watch on him. Probably, and the fact that they won the game without Archer giving them some cushion, right? I mean, let's not push him into action immediately. So I guess the fact that they have the liberty of the fact that they're playing really well without him right now, and let's see how the series progresses. If it gets closer, maybe they'll push him earlier. But otherwise, if they're winning, for example, if they win the next test also, I don't see a reason for them to hurry Archer, considering the Ashes is also coming in. So probably they'll take the time. I mean, and see how they perform. But otherwise, this England lineup looks damn good. I mean, Suresh, what do you think? I mean,
I think Suresh, there is some network issue at your
At
end.
least the batting.
I'm not able to hear you. There's some serious
Yeah, I
network
think.
issue at your end, but uh, I understand what Suresh is trying to say here. That probably England side or England management does not want to rush Archer, considering the fact that they've done pretty well, and Archer is not has not really spent too much time. Especially with the red ball. I think he's only played one county game, and probably the management is playing the waiting game here. And I mean, to be honest, if your team is doing that well, you ideally would not want to tinker with the playing 11, right? The winning combination. So that probably is the reason. Uh, I would want to spend more time on the Indian setup. Considering the fact that they uh, had a lot of things to ponder on. They've got a good break. The batters did well in bits and pieces. I think Pant was brilliant. Gill scored a good 100, but I think the lower.
Do you think India will be worried
No,
right
obviously
now?
the lower.
Like, do you think the dressing room will be worried, or is it like
No,
one
no, no.
off?
They should be worried, no, because you don't get too many chances like that in the senior countries, right? If you're dominating the game, if you dominated the game for the good 70-80% of the game, you have been dominating, right? And then suddenly in the last day you sort of make a mess of it. It's not a good sign. And considering the fact that India had a batting collapse in both the innings, the lower middle order was non-existent, and a couple of players I think definitely would be sitting out. One obviously is Shardul Thakur, and I see a direct replacement by Nitish Kumar Reddy over there. Another question mark for me is Prasidh Krishna. I know he got 5 wickets, but having watched the entire game and uh, seeing his body language, seeing his lens, I think I'm not too sure if Prasidh Krishna is the right guy for at least at this point of time in these English conditions. I'd rather have someone like an Arshdeep who can the left armer who can bring in the variety, with the ball and who can probably swing the ball both the ways and could come in handy in the middle overs as well. So these two are the changes, and then again one more change which I would want to see is the arrival of Kuldeep Yadav. I think he's been really hard done by. He is our X factor in any format of the game, and he has not gone to many opportunities in the red ball cricket, which is kind of unfortunate. And the way Jadeja has been performing with the ball in the overseas conditions, for the past so many years, I think there's a definitely a case for Kuldeep to be brought in place of Jadeja. No, batting, I don't want to. I don't think that India would be too much tinkering with their batting setup. Probably the arrival of Nitish Kumar Reddy could give them that extra leverage in the lower middle order. So that is one thing which probably I'm looking forward to.
So wait, so you're saying, say Prasidh and Bumrah go out, we'll have Arshdeep and Kuldeep, or somebody
No, no,
else
no,
instead of Jadeja, or Kuldeep
no,
instead
no,
of
no.
Jadeja?
So I want to see Kuldeep instead of Jadeja, but I'm
Okay.
almost sure that that's not going to happen. Probably I would want to see Arshdeep say in place of Bumrah, and then maybe someone like Akash Deep instead of Prasidh Krishna because of his length, the length which he hit. Usually, and I think that 4 to 5 meter or the fuller length is something which probably bowlers would try to hit in if they want to extract anything out of the wicket. And that is where I felt Prasidh Krishna has really struggled. But I'm not sure. I think India again at the same time they might be wary of making too many changes. Sort of giving
Yeah.
opposition a message that they've panicked. That is also a possibility. So we'll have to wait and watch.
Yeah, no, I think that could happen, right? I mean, like you said, I don't think Shardul is going to play, right? And Gill as a captain didn't seem much have much confidence in him as well. I mean, I think in the first innings also he hardly bowled, and even in the second innings, okay, he got those wickets, but I mean, one was down the line, down the leg side, and again, I don't think Gill the captain has enough confidence to use Shardul as that fourth bowler. In which case, you're probably better off getting a good batsman all rounders, which is Nitish Kumar Reddy, right? Like you said, they may not tinker with Prasidh. He bowled well in patches. Maybe they may giving him a chance again, working on those lengths. And considering the fact that mostly Bumrah won't play, they would want to go with at least a settled lineup instead of replacing two fast bowlers. So I guess maybe Bumrah, Arshdeep instead of Bumrah, and then they'll continue with Prasidh and Siraj for one more test and see how they do. But yeah, it's definitely an acid test for Prasidh, right? I mean, if he can't, if he's going at 6 runs and over, that's very scary. I mean, you don't want your top frontline bowler to go 6 runs and over, and then it's added pressure on the other bowlers also, right? And people like Duckett and all are wait. I mean, that's the England strategy, right? They wait, they attack that one bowler who they think is a weak link, and once that weak link is out, then it's added pressure on the other bowlers, and they play out the other bowlers easily. So you don't want to give that option to the English attack. And that's exactly the way McCullum plays. McCullum used to play, and I'm sure the basketball cricket also plays the same way. They find those weak link players in any squad, and they go after them. And Prasidh was unfortunately the victim this time. And I mean, he's better than that, right? He's better than the 6 run over ball. He's not that. So hopefully he comes back stronger, gets the length right. And if he gets it right, I mean, I would want to give one more chance to Prasidh, is what I feel.
Now, I have a very fundamental question here. Is Prasidh Krishna your best bet in those conditions? For me, answer is no. I know
Mm.
there's this definitely a counter argument of not making too many changes. Especially after the first game where India played well throughout that game. You had there were certain opportunities, certain chances which we were not able to capitalize, which did cost us the game. But again, I'm
Yeah.
not too sure because see, Siraj also did not pick too many wickets, but I liked the way he approached the game. He was pretty unlucky. He could have got 3 or 4 wickets easily in the second inning, but somehow he got a good couple of spells, but was not able to pick too many wickets there. But with Prasidh Krishna, I think he got a couple of wickets, but I think more often than not, he seems like a fluke bowler to me, at least in these conditions, in the first test. I mean, his length and all is perfect for probably South African or New Zealand conditions.
Mm.
But in England, I don't see him being that big a threat. I would rather have Akash Deep, who is someone who's known to sort of ball those shummy kind of
Yeah.
lengths, where you will force the batsman to come on the front foot and drive through the line, hit through the line, and then probably a little bit of seam movement can take the outside edge of the batters. And especially with the fact that someone like a Duckett or a Crawley or even Brook, they go really hard. That's the way they play, and you need someone
Yeah.
who can sort of
Yeah.
entice them and take those edges. Because this 8 meter length is definitely not going to work on those conditions. And they will sit back and they will smash you all around the park. The way they did it with Prasidh Krishna.
Mm.
Uh, but again, I mean, like I mentioned, I'm not too sure if they will be willing to make too many changes. But still, I'd really, really love to see someone like an Akash Deep coming into the mix.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. I mean, like the only benefit of doubt is that it's just too early. I mean, I just hope that he rectifies it. But otherwise, yeah, Akash Deep is a perfect replacement. And if Prasid fails for sure, I mean, he's going to come into the picture. And I know you've also mentioned Kuldeep, right? I mean, I was looking at the stats sometime back. I think if you look at strike rate, he's one of the all-time best strike rate bowlers who has played a minimum of 20 test matches, something like that. And that is such a great asset to have, right? A wicket-taking bowler. And Kuldeep actually attacks the stumps as well. And guys like Stokes, are susceptible to good spin, right? Even against Jadeja, he was pretty much playing only one shot, the reverse sweep. And that is against a bowler who doesn't turn much. Imagine a Kuldeep comes into the picture when I'm sure people like Brook and Pope, the likes of them, will think twice before playing those attacking shots against guys like Kuldeep. And I don't know, man. I mean, I know Jadeja has an expiry date, and that's coming sooner than later. And I think it's time India looks beyond Jadeja. I know the batting is what keeps the Indian think tank and the management from not continuing to back Jadeja, but how long, right? And if your six can't do it, your seven can't do it. I mean, we should think like that. Maybe if a Karun Nair and all starts performing well, I think the time will come when the Indian team will look beyond Jadeja, and it's high time. At least the spin department, I think Kuldeep is right already up there. Is what I feel. Or what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's really unfortunate, Sulesh. Kuldeep is now 30. Let that sink in.
Yeah,
And he has only played
yeah,
20 odd games, right? And I think one of his coaches or childhood coach or someone who he mentioned that Kuldeep is really unlucky to be in that situation. He been a part of Australian or a South African or an English setup, he would have played at least 60 70 test matches by now,
yeah,
which I don't doubt at all. Even in the spin friendly conditions, he's already got he did not get too many opportunities, and I
yeah,
think this is the perfect time to get him in the mix. Like you mentioned, if you're six batters, if you're not confident about your top six batters, there's no way you can expect a number seven or number eight batter to sort of do the bulk of scoring. So that's not going to happen. And if it is happening, then something is wrong with your top order, and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
a different problem which you'll have to solve, right? So I'd rather have a wicket taking option in case the seamers are not able to do the damage. The ball is 60, 40, 50 oversold, and you need someone who can hold the end, and not only hold the end, who can pick up those wickets, right? He'll be that aggressive bowler. He might go for runs.
yeah,
Let's be honest about it. He might go for runs, but he'll give you those crucial wickets. And I think it's high time the Indian management, Indian setup, Gambhir and Gill sort of back Kuldeep Yadav in this mix, right? He'll bring that additional variety. He's got those balls who can he can turn the game on his head. He has the capabilities to take like two three quick wickets in his one spell, right? He can do
yeah,
that. He has been that kind of player in the ODIs and T20s as well. Really unfortunate for him, and I hope that, and this obsession with Jadeja, man. I mean, it's high time. I have never seen Jadeja. I mean, he has been really inconsistent in those foreign conditions, right? Uh,
yeah,
I know he has played quite a few good knocks with the bat in Indian conditions, an occasional here and there knock in the foreign condition. But I think if you talk about the consistency, and Jadeja, the spinner, Jadeja, the bowler, is almost non-existent in these kind of conditions, right? There is no point of playing Jadeja in and plus his body language, man. I have never seen Jadeja so dull. So he's a live wire in the field. He'll save you. He'll get you
yeah,
those X factor, those crunch moments in the game with the field with his arm. He'll get a couple of direct hits. He'll take a blinder. So, but in the last game, I think he was non-existent on the field as well, which is really surprising for me. And as someone who has been following cricket for so long, I definitely do not see a place for Ravindra Jadeja in this particular squad.
Yeah, I mean, I think that expiry date will come sooner than later, especially after this test series. I mean, the think tank will really have to look into what's the value add, right? And I know you mentioned body language, and I want to come to the body language part, right? Shubman Gill's captaincy. I think that is one thing which everybody was looking forward to after the first test. I mean, from the before the series, and I think he could have done more as a captain. Especially, I mean, see, in cricket, the captaincy only matters when you're on the field, right? When you're fielding, and a lot of times, especially the fifth day, we felt that the shoulders were dropping, and you didn't see that sort of Virat Kohli. So I mean, we are so used to Virat Kohli being there, right, and pumping the team. That's not there now. And you're a new captain. I mean, I know you don't have to be the same attitude. We have seen silent captains lead from the front, and it's through your attitude, right? It's not about what you show on your field on the face. But another important factor is that if Bumrah is not playing, Bumrah has sort of been the pseudo leader of the bowling attack and on the field as well. Now Bumrah also is not there. I think Gill is going to have a tough time, and I really hope he comes out in flying colors. I mean, but this could be a real tough test for him, the second test.
I think it's about the body language, Suresh. And at times in that final session, or in the final day rather, he was playing the catch up game throughout the day. Right, you see that about
Yeah,
someone like a Duckett is hitting a boundary, then you are following the ball. And whenever a captain is doing that, it's never a good sign, right? That clearly indicates that you are not in control of the game, and that's where someone like Gill was, sort of struggling. But I won't be too hard on him. It was his first game as an Indian Test captain, which is not an easy job. That too in England, in their own backyard. I think one of the toughest places to captain. I mean, you will ask anyone. I know Kohli has done this in a certain way, a few years ago. But again, that body language is something which probably I'll look at in the second game. He was looking a little clueless, which can happen. You can get overwhelmed when your strike bowler is not getting wickets, or others are not stepping up. You as a captain tend to lose the plot, and that probably is something which struck Gill as well. Bumrah was not getting wickets. It was an off day for Bumrah, rare off day. Others were not getting anything out of the surface, so he was also struggling. And he wanted to get something out of Jadeja, but that did not happen as well, because there was some assistance for the spinner over there. But I think he'll eventually grow. He'll eventually learn. Uh, See, I mean, we Indians are really biased, right? We have seen the likes of MS Dhoni, in the ODI format specifically. We have seen the Virat Kohli era where he was like dominating the field. His presence was like sort of, overwhelming the opposition. And then you had the calming influence of Rohit Sharma, who again was not a very very influential Test captain, but again as an overall personality. If you see in the last since 2007, it's been like 18 years, right? I think these are very hard, big shoes to fill for Gill as well. It's not an easy job. You got seven,
yeah,
8 years of MS, then again 5, 6 years of Kohli, and then 3, 4 years of Rohit Sharma. So I think it is not an easy job from any sense, right? I'll
yeah,
probably wait and watch, and I think we discussed this before the series started as well. That let's not be too critical of the team, especially the Gill, the captain, right? And what I want to see is the heart, right? Can you be that kind of captain who is not scared to take bold decisions, right? Can you be that sort of captain? Because we saw that with Kohli in that 2014 tour to Australia, when India lost that game in England, which probably they should have at least drawn the game, right? But they did go for the win. They played in a certain way, and that was a message. That was a cultural shift which we all could feel at that point of time, that okay, this is a new era, and there is a certain manner in which these guys will play, right? So I want to look at that kind of, from that kind of perspective. Whether Gil will be able to do it in a certain way or not, I think we'll have to wait and watch. But I'm really looking forward to that certain subtle changes in the body language which probably were missing in the first test, especially on that final day.
yeah. You're right. I mean, like you give examples, right? Dhoni has different style, Kohli's different style. Gill has to evolve his own style, and that will come. And I'm sure that will come through leading this team from the front and playing in these tougher conditions. I'm sure that's going to mold him as a better player, as a better captain as well. And no better example than to take from a counterpart, right? I mean, the way England has been playing, it's a very interesting approach. I mean, like how we used to, sort of make fun of baseball, right? Hit every ball from the six. And they had a very horrible WTC last time. What is it? I think they came sixth or
Yeah.
seventh. But some things have changed, right? Even this first particular test match, They didn't go hammering tongs. Even the last innings, for example, if you look, Zach Crawley almost played at a 50 strike rate. And they knew
Yeah.
that, what, the first few sessions, let's weather out the Bumrah storm. It's very unlike baseball approach. Though they chased out the 370 target, we knew they would do it, but it was not the typical English baseball strategy. They were playing the good balls on merit. They were taking their time out. Even guys like Harry Brook came close to 100, but it was not the typical swashbuckling innings, right? Baseball is evolving. It's evolving towards a point where, what, we have got a hang of baseball. We know how to play attacking when we want to, but we'll only use it when we want to. And that's going to be a very dangerous English side if they can control that aggression. And even, I mean, I'm sure the Aussies are watching this, right, for the Ashes. It won't be an easy ride for them. I think England basketball cricket is evolved, is what I'm feeling.
No, fair point. Absolutely. I think the problem with Indian bowling lineup was that there were not too many good deliveries. Batting Bumrah, I think the others were good in patches. Even the likes of Siraj, Prasidh Krishna, I felt was more off than on. There was no fourth seamer. Shardul Thakur was almost non-existent. So I think they also got.
Yeah.
They knew that if they are able to sort of see Bumrah off safely, they'll have enough bad balls to sort of capitalize on that. And that was the approach which they followed, and it paid off for them as well. So I think hats off to them. And like you mentioned, it's not like bang, bang, bang. They are sort of
Yeah.
having a better strategy than, because in the last WTC cycle, like you mentioned, it was pretty fundamental for them as well. They just wanted to hit the ball, which is, I mean, you'll get your success probably if you're playing on a Rawalpindi wicket. You might end up scoring
Yeah.
500, 550 in a day. But again, if the conditions are not favorable, there is swing and seams, there is spin, then you will struggle. The way they struggled in India as well a couple of years ago. But I think they figured out a way, figured out an approach to this madness, and I think they are gonna be really dangerous side, not only from this particular test series point of view. In this particular cycle, when they travel to Australia for the Ashes, I think it's not gonna be easy for these as well.
Yeah, sure. I think it'll be a very good Ashes contest, right? And talking of Ashes, I mean, Australia just finished the first Test match win against the West Indies. Uh, Good to see a really good West Indian bowling lineup giving good competition to the Australian batting lineup, right? I mean, I think the four West Indian bowlers really bowled their heart out, and like as if you were watching the 80s or 90s West Indian attack. And Shamal Joseph again. I mean, that guy. The moment he sees Australian, the baggy helmet, something gets onto him. I think he just attacks from the first go. And those ball to get Webster out. I mean, one of the greatest balls I've seen this year in Test cricket. Right. Unfortunate that the fourth innings didn't pan out the way the first three innings did for them. Australia again came back with a resounding victory finally, but very different Australian batting lineup also, right? Without Labuschagne and Smith, I think they have not played without these two for a long, long time, and they have been the mainstay of the Australian middle order. And West Indies did find some chinks in their armor, and they
Yeah.
were getting out to some really good balls. And Quaja is getting old. Smith is also not in the wrong side of the 30s. So is Marnus. This team is going through a sort of a change, a transition phase. We have guys like English and all coming through, but I don't know if they're there yet. But very interesting to see the fight put up by the West Indies team.
I think the problem with West Indies again is their batting, man. I mean,
Yeah.
and that has been the pattern for the last 15, 20 years, I would say. After the
Yeah.
likes of Lara, Sarwan, Hooper, Chandrapal, once these guys went away, I am not sure they've been able to find replacements for these legends of the game, right? For bowling, I think they've got the enough talent in their bowling department. Even when they are. I mean, but this time the change is that the only difference is that they are hunting in packs, right? Otherwise, it used to be a one
Yeah.
man show kind of thing, right, for them as well. But I think good signs. I'm excited. There's still a couple of tests to go. I expect the West Indies to come back hard in the next test match. We'll have to wait and watch. But again, yeah, Australia also again is sort of going through a similar sort of transition. But uh, most, I mean, like what India is facing at this point of time. Uh, we'll have to wait and watch, and you have to give those youngsters a little more time to sort of get settled in. Uh, uh, the way India has been sort of being patient with a lot of people, over the past few months, and yeah, exciting times ahead. Yeah, but definitely that is what makes England a little more dangerous in this particular WTC cycle as well, because the two primary competitors, India and Australia, both are sort of going some sort of transition. So I think this is their opportunity, their cycle to sort of make an impact.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, and exciting week of cricket ahead, right? Okay, quickly, two things you're looking forward to. I would on the second test. I'd quickly say for me, who would replace Bumrah? I'm really excited to know who's going to come through, and probably I want to see how Gill's captaincy goes through as in the second test. What are your two quick things you're looking forward to?
I think I definitely see Arshdeep playing the next game, and I'm excited to see him how he goes about his business. I feel that he'll be a good addition because the left armour, that angle, bringing the ball back in to the right hander early on, I think is gonna create some problems for the English batters. And the second thing again, I am also looking forward to the way Gill handles this now. Since we have already lost the first game, there has to be some amount of pressure on him as well. He has delivered. He started off well as Gill the batter, and I'm really excited to see how, especially how KL Rahul continues his form, because over the past few years we have seen that he starts off with a bang and then suddenly gets lost somewhere in the middle, right? I don't want that to happen, especially considering the fact he's your main batter. He's the X factor. He's the pinnacle of Indian batting at this point of time, right? He has to play that Kohli role, which Kohli played back in 2018 2019 tour, right? So yeah, KL Rahul's form, Gill's captaincy, obviously, and the most important one is the Arshdeep Singh factor, which I feel should create an impact in the game.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, lots to look forward to, right? And I think India will come back with a good fight. I mean, the first test also was close, right? The final decision came in the last session, and I'm sure this test match is also going to be like. I'm looking forward to watching that match. Looking forward to catching up with you guys probably in the mid test as well. We can do that, and probably once the test match is over, also we can have a review. But an exciting match ahead and very interesting series going forward. Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you so
Yes.
much for your time. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Suresh.
Bye. Bye.